Welcome to another practical lesson where we will be exploring the final tool for building our productivity system. It's called the calendar because as long as everything is in Notion, the tool we discussed in the previous lesson, all of it remains static. All the information, everything that needs to be done, everything that needs to be completed, everything that's in progress, all of it is there in a static format. When we transfer all of this into the calendar, into specific time blocks, specific days when it will be done, everything immediately gains momentum. It comes to life. It gets concrete time frames and specific deadlines for when it needs to be completed, done, and finished. In other words, the system of actions we've been building over the past 2 weeks, I put that into the calendar. And now, friends, let me show you what this looks like. You can either do the same as I do, or take some ideas for yourself and create your own version of a calendar. First of all, which one? Which app to use? I use the most basic, automatically installed Apple Calendar. For those who have Android, it will be Google Calendar. You can download any other calendar app. There are a huge number of them. They all serve the same function, so any calendar will do. So friends, what do we have here in front of us? Is Monday, and you can already see the time blocks. The first idea I use in organizing my calendar is that I don't set strict boundaries for specific tasks. Instead, I use time blocks for separate areas. What do I mean by that? For example, if I need to shoot a video, I don't specify that I'll be filming this video from 12:30 to 12:45. Like, okay, I roughly understand that I'll be free then, so from 12:35 to 1:45, that's when I'll shoot the video, and then after 1:45, I immediately plan some other activity. I don't do it that way, because, at least in my work, there is a certain specificity. Some days you manage to come up with the idea for the video, right? Let's say created structure, write the script in 15 minutes. On some days, it takes you an hour and a half. On others, 2 hours. So I've tried working in this kind of format that didn't work for me. I didn't like it. Everything kept slipping, everything was falling apart, and I ended up spending more time trying to schedule different tasks by the minute. So I switched to the following format. I set aside a specific time block to work on a particular area, for example, the business area or personal brand area. So I have a separate block, say 5 hours, when I work specifically on that. And what do I do? Which task do I choose to work on? I pick the task that I've identified as the main one for myself for today. Starting from yesterday, in the evening, I planned it like this. Tomorrow, for example, I'll shoot 3 videos for the English language training channel. Done. I've noted it down. That's it. I know I have 5 hours ahead of me, and I'll be working on this. So that's how I work, which is why you won't see specific tasks here. There will be time blocks instead. The only time I specify exact time slots in my calendar is when I have a call or a meeting, or if there is something I absolutely have to do at a specific time, go somewhere, meet someone, and so on. The second principle is, if I have some kind of emergency, and for those of you who, for example, have kids right now and say if they don't go to kindergarten and get sick every week, you know that emergencies happen, right? I don't start to panic or get anxious if something in my schedule starts to shift. That is first and foremost, I understand that this calendar is made for my convenience and my productivity. And so, before, for example, when everything started to shift, I used to think, damn, I planned it this way, but now it's not working out. I have to go there. Instead, now I realize that if some unexpected situation comes up where I need to leave for 3 or 4 hours and do something completely different, regardless of what I had planned, I just accept it and think, okay, I can skip this block today. I'll deal with it tomorrow. And as for this block, I move it from 1 o'clock. Well, it was from 1 to 3. I shift it from 3 to 5. In other words, you need to be as flexible as possible with what you schedule here. But on days when here is no force measure, try to stick to the framework. The goal is to make sure that for all the areas you have, you set a time block during the week or the month. If something only happens once a month, when will you actually make progress, complete tasks, and move forward in those specific areas? Hello, friends. How does this work in practice? Let's take a look. Number 1, morning routine from 5 to 6. I wake up at 5 o'clock or 5:30, and my morning routine is mainly focused on spiritual development. So, for example, I read the Bible there. My goal is to read the Bible in a year. Here is spiritual development, a morning routine in addition to the usual things I do, like going to the bathroom, stretching to wake up, and so on. I have a morning routine, and spiritual development is built into it. That's it. I don't worry about the area of spiritual development is covered because I've made it part of my routine. I no longer have to think about scheduling time for it. I have a time block. I know what I am doing there. I know which area it's for. I am making progress there. That's it, period. Next, from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I have a workout. Again, my fitness area is tied to this time block. Workout from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, this time block might start at 5:45. It might start at 6:30. But in any case, it will start within this time frame. And that's why any fitness goal I have, everything I want to achieve in fitness, I must fit, invest, and place it within this time block. And that's it. I don't worry. I don't stress about where or whether I manage to work out or not. I have a fixed time block. I have nothing else to worry about. It's already my habit. I know what I am doing, and I don't have to force myself every time. Even if your schedule changes, my body is already used to it. Morning means workout. That's it. Don't even try to come up with work. This area is closed off. This area is closed off. Thanks to the time block that you've set, it's awesome. Next, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I have breakfast, take the kids to school, and so on. Then, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I have team management. Team management means I connect with the team, and we discuss what's going on, how one course is progressing, how the other course is going, what urgent issues there are, what needs to be closed, which payments to process, what needs to be wrapped up, which advertising projects, what proposals, who needs to be sent statistics. Everything related to working with the team I try to handle during this time. Again, sometimes there are fewer questions, sometimes there are more. This could be from 8 to 8:30. Or, for example, if I took my child somewhere a bit later because I got held up at training, then my schedule shifts. I might even start at 8:45. Again, that 8:45 could stretch until 9:45. So these are flexible boundaries, but they're still there. I understand the reference points. I know what I need to do after I drop my child off at school or, for example, at kindergarten. For now and next, when that's done, I move on to social media posting, meaning posts on social media. If I was ready, maybe a post I had prepared for this platform, for that platform, for another one, I publish. I post maybe some stories. I might reply to comments there if I wanted to do that. So everything related to posting on social media, because at that time I am actually online. I have two worlds, both Dutch speaking and Russian speaking, and that's why I can publish posts for both worlds during this time and take care of that aspect. This is about social media posting. Again, this time block is flexible. It might be an hour now, it might be an hour and a half, but I have it scheduled here. If it's scheduled, I know it will happen on a regular basis. Next, from 11 to 12, I don't have anything scheduled. I have lunch, and then comes a lodge time block. This is my main work block, business social media. That's what I call it. It's the block where I'll either be working on a project or filming something for social media. Basically, my work is either about creating something or filming something. That's why I set aside this block for these main tasks. I don't specify exactly what I'll be doing from 12 o'clock to 1, so here is no stress. I just do what needs to be done, and I don't fill up my schedule with all these little tasks. Everything is simple for me. We discussed during the first week the plan for the day, the plan you write in the evening where you have one main task that you will accomplish. So as I said, I understand that today, for example, I planned it out the night before. What am I going to film today? 3 videos for the English language channel. That's it. Let's say it starts at 12:00. I finished all the previous tasks, and I start writing the script, thinking through how it's going to be, how this and that will go. Then I grab the camera, go to the location, shoot, send it off for editing, for example. Boom. Done. So during this time block, I focus on the task I have set for myself right now. And sometimes, for example, my whole week. This time block is more dedicated to working on a project, like filming some course, for example. Then from 5:30 to 8:30, it's family time, meaning I go pick up my child. We all start eating, having dinner, having fun, talking, hanging out, entertaining ourselves. Then from 8:30 to 9:30, I have my evening routine. Here I either read or take some course. Usually, I don't do 2 things at once. If I am taking a course, I focus on it completely. If I am reading, I focus entirely on reading that book. Again, 8:30 to 9:30 is approximate. If my kids went to bed earlier, if everyone is already asleep, then I might start earlier. That could be at 8 o'clock. Or on the contrary, if it shifts to 9 o'clock, then this part will be shorter. And again, my evening block is tied to self-development. But as for business and social media, I didn't mention those. I have business and personal brand areas tied in, meaning all the areas in which I want to make progress at this stage of my life, they all need to be there. Everything is entered into my calendar in time blocks. That way, I don't need to worry about making progress in these goals. I just know that I'll have time for them during the day. For example, how does my day change? All my days look the same. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday looks the same for me, but on Friday there are some changes. Friends, for instance, on Friday, I have my workday is shortened from 12 to 3, and then from 3 o'clock to 9, I have this huge time block. So from 3 o'clock to 6, 0. That's time with Kusha. In other words, my family sphere is fulfilled here. For example, if I plan for us to watch a movie or go somewhere or go to a certain restaurant together, relax and so on, I can make all of that happen right here. I have Friday, the time when I have a fixed time block. I knew my day would be shorter, so I need to plan it in a way that I can get everything done that I wanted to do. And then I have a time block set aside to relax with my wife. Everything is scheduled, which is great. And then comes Saturday. This is a day that I haven't planned out at all except for my morning and evening routines. And the whole day is my day off. It's always dedicated to the spiritual sphere. And as for Sunday, it goes like this for me. My morning routine is stable. In the morning, it's always there. That's how it is for me. The morning routine is never skipped, and the evening routine is also never skipped. Then comes Sunday morning when I do my weekly planning. That's when I write down what I want to accomplish this week, what absolutely must not be done, and what my main focus will be, whether it's content creation or working on a project. Here, I plan out the week, what I will be wrapping up, a complete review of the week, how it will unfold, what I will be doing. Then, from 12 to 2, I have this time blocked out because that's usually when the kids go to sleep, and I have this time while they're napping. During this block, I sort out all my financial accounts that are still unresolved, some accounts that were left hanging, things that need to be closed, some documents that need to be sent to the accountant, and so on. So during this Sunday time block, I take care of all this stuff so it doesn't linger in my mind throughout the week. That way I can calmly focus on the bigger tasks that move my life forward instead of overloading my working memory. All this little stuff, yeah, so to speak, but stuff that's actually super important. And then I also have my evening routine. Sunday is set aside because for me, Saturday and Sunday are my days off. And that's when I don't plan anything, when I am free to do whatever I want. It's often a family day for us. We all hang out, relax, plan trips, parties, and so on. So, that's how my week is planned out. Friends, the main idea again is that all your areas of life should somehow be incorporated into your time blocks. So, you can make sure that week after week goes by and progress in all your areas keeps moving forward. Not a single area is left out. With this lesson, we wrap up the creation of our productivity system, where our goal was to take all our thoughts, dreams, and plans and put them into the kitchen. On paper, or rather on the computer where we can implement all of this, plan it all out, create it all, and then take it from there, and put it into the timeline to move it from static to dynamic, and make sure that every hour of our day is spent directly to our benefit for one area or another. Even if it's just rest, if it's just relaxation, just a hobby, you are just chilling, just doing nothing. That also counts with a purpose, because you are resting, you are recharging so that you can be energetic, be full of energy so that tomorrow, for example, or next week, you can wake up and accomplish what you've planned in other areas. I highly recommend friends to try living at least 1 week in this format and feel how your productivity changes, how you feel when you have a concrete plan for a week. If you like it, friends, go ahead. Develop this system. Use it for life. If you don't like it, great. Work in your own way, but at least you know you tried it. And let's say this isn't for you. But almost all successful people I've talked to whom I know online, they use a calendar to plan their day and organize their tasks. Friends, thank you for watching. Be sure to share your thoughts, your insight, and if you have any calendar app that you've been using for a long time and really like, let us know. You can also leave comments. That's all, friends. Let's get to work.